Hello, I'm Skeincocaine and this is my knitting channel where I talk about everything knitting, yarn, hand-dyed yarn, all of it. I live in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, in Blacksburg, Virginia with my family, dogs, cats, birds, husband, no, just kidding, not plural. Okay, and it's been a while. I have a lot to catch you up on. Thank you for joining me today. Let's just get right into it. You notice I'm not doing Vlogmas. I am doing Advents, yarn countdown. As I said, if you follow me and you have followed me, you know that I skipped this year. I also skipped Vlogmas. I wanted just like a really relaxing Christmas experience this year. It's not happening. But it's impossible. But I'm not, piling on with all the other things that I've been doing. So I want to show you all the stuff that I've been working on. I had grand plans to have lots and lots of Christmas gifts done. Sorry about Buddy, but he's here with me. So it is what it is. Squirrels, deer. We have a family of deer living in our yard, like 8 different. Okay, Buddy, that's enough. Okay. I am doing Advents next year, so this coming year, and I have a really, really great idea. I'm also doing Halloween Advents, like full-on 31-day Halloween Advents. I already know what I'm doing for that. I'm really excited. We're already talking about colorways for that. So I've got a lot of stuff going on in 2023, and I hope that you'll join me for that. I'm very, very excited. But let's do a wrap-up of 2022 since there's just a few more weeks left. Show you what I'm working on, and thanks for joining me. So let's get started. Okay, so I started working. Do I have a finished object? Yeah, okay, I do have a finished object. I'm really hot already. I've been having a lot of really bad hot flashes lately, but I finished another Sophie Scarf. I'm doing it out of my Donegal DK. This is the taupe colorway. This is one of the colors that's in my Swancho kit. And as usual, all of the show notes are listed underneath this video. There's a little arrow that you can click on and it will drop down, and then you can see the show notes. So here's my Sophie Scarf by Petite Knit. 1 skein of DK. Okay, that's one thing. Is that everything? That might be the only finished object I have. I know that's pathetic, but it's true. I don't think there's one in here. Let's see what's in here. No. Okay. But I do have a lot of whips to show you, and I'm going to show you only current whips because I have hundreds and hundreds of whips, but I'm only showing you the current whips. All right. We'll start with my Ninilchik Swancho. I did minis of all of my Donegal Tweed collection. I did a mini 20 gram minis of the DK in 12 different colors. And I'm just Tweed crazy. I'm absolutely nuts for Tweed right now. And so I started doing this. This is Caitlin Hunter's famous Ninilchik Swancho. It's a great thing to wear inside the house in the wintertime, or to wear it as an outerwear thing, like if you're going to a football game or a outside soccer game, something like that, where you're outside and you don't want a heavy coat. You can't wear a coat over it because it is a Swancho, and so it's got low sleeves. But here is mine using my minis. And I love it. You know, I had made another Swancho and that I really loved, but that was only 4 colors. And I just decided, why not do just all the colors? This is covered in cat hair too, by the way, so sorry. Blown out because of the ring light, but it is so dark. You know, winter, it's winter, so there's not a lot of light. But I'm loving this. I am doing the smallest size. I believe there's 2 sizes, like small, medium, medium, large, or something like that. And I'm doing the smallest size, and I'm following the pattern exactly in terms of needle size and everything. Looks like a size 6, I believe, but I don't know for sure. Let's see, hold on. Yes, size 6. I'm using Leica needles, and yes, enjoying. So that is one whip. Now I thought, oh, I'm gonna whip this next whip up so quickly, but unfortunately that is not happening. In fact, I have been working on this for hours and hours and hours and hours, and 2 solid weeks hardcore knitting for the Big Cozy by Andrea Mowry. And here I'm like, oh, you know, I'll work on it and I'll get done really quickly. It's basically a rectangle that you sort of origami, and then you put suri or mohair as the shawl collar around it. This is, and I'm in the middle of a row, darn it, but this is so much knitting. This is like the equivalent of 2 sweaters or more. But this is also on size 6, I believe. Yeah. This is the right side. This is the wrong side. I'm making the smallest size, and then you put suri or mohair around the huge shawl collar that it has. So this is my Cabernet colorway, and it's beautiful, and it just has a lovely sheen to it. So I am going to keep working on this, but this is probably going to be a lifetime project. I really want this. Like, I was thinking for Christmas that I really love these sort of rich burgundy colors for the holidays. Get my nails painted black or red, something like that. But this is entirely too much knitting, and I'm just gonna work on it every so often when I feel like working on it. But that's going nowhere fast. Let's put it that way. But I tell you what really is going by fast, and that is my Anthology Throw by Helen Stewart. I cast this on, and just like one night I was just sitting there watching movies, and I said to myself, I can't work on this Big Cozy anymore. I don't want to work on the gifts I'm supposed to have done for Christmas. I just don't want to do it. So I cast this on, and it's flying. And I'm using a lot of my Advent yarn from last year, my own personal Advent, just, you know, different Advents. Remember, I think I had 9 or 10 Advents last year. And so I just sort of plucked from those Advents, and I started this anthology shawl. You start in the center, and then you work your way around, and this is how far I am. So every time that you increase, you know, the stripes get smaller and smaller. So they're getting smaller as we speak, but I'm really, really enjoying this. This is something that, even though it's a blanket, even though it's big, Like, again, this is a lot of knitting. It's a lot of knitting here. It's really fun and it goes really fast, and because it's fingering weight, it's balling up. You know, it's more compact. It's not like this giant. Okay, so like the cozy memory blankets that I've been making crocheted, I can't knit on those anywhere but really somewhere where I've got this huge pile on me because they're getting so big. I'm going to show you this. I am using something that's not an advent for this. It's this really pretty sparkle blues and pinks, and yeah, so I'm having fun with that. I'm going to keep working on it, and if it looks like it's big enough, I may block it and just give it to my mother for Christmas. I haven't decided. I start out with all these really good intentions about doing gift knitting, and then I finish stuff, you know, as I'm going along, like mittens and cowls and hats and things like that. Like, I will work up until Christmas Eve, and then I'll lay all the stuff out and I'll say, okay, my mother would like this, Marcella would like this, Ben would like this hat, Dave would like these socks. Do I give these socks to Ben or do I give them to Dave because they wear the same size? Ben is like 6'2" now. It's crazy. It's really crazy. With, you know, almost a beard. So, okay, so that's that. So, like I said, I'm tweed crazy, and I have so many skeins of tweed, personally, of luxury tweed, my own brand, my own hand-dyed yarn. So I go to Michael's the other day, and what do I buy? I buy this. In fact, I didn't buy it at first. I actually didn't buy it at first. What I did was I saw it and I was like, Gina, walk away. Gina, walk away. And I did. And then I just thought about it and thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. And then Marcella said, can we run to Michael's and pick up blah, blah, blah? And I said, oh. So this is essentially an acrylic Aran weight, which is thicker than worsted. I thought this would be good socks to go in my bloodstone boots. And so that's what I did. I took this, and I know I didn't have to do this, but I did it anyway. I made it into a flying saucer, thanks to my Nancy's Knick-Knack ball winder. And then I cast on some thick socks, doing them on size 5s, and I'm just doing a sock out of it. What is going on here? Yeah, I'm doing a sock. And these are for me, but I may do a magic heel, which is really like ribbing. It's like ribbing for about this much on your heel, and what that does is it makes a heel that can kind of, you can fudge sizing. It's like you do a fish lip kiss heel, from toe to heel pretty much has to fit if you're going to give them away as gifts. But if you do the magic heel, you have some wiggle room, and if you make them for kids, they can wear them longer. So that's what's really good about that. What else do I have to show you? I have a friend who I make fun of all the time. He wears plaid all the time, and I make fun of him. Like, we go to dinner and I'll say, oh, I see you're mad for plaid. And he, after a while, just threw away all of the plaid stuff in his closet because I guess he thought that I thought that the plaid was ugly. Like, maybe I didn't like it, which was not the case, but because I made a comment about it all the time and I kind of made fun of him all the time about it in a joking, playful way, he thought I didn't really like plaid. So I decided to make him a plaid scarf as a joke. But this is so, again, so much knitting that I realize I won't be able to finish this. So he's going to get this sometime either next Christmas or I have to find out when his birthday is. I have it written down somewhere. Here it is. And it's scrunchy. It needs to be blocked so that it will lay flat, because right now it is bunched up. But I decided, because I wanted to do a scarf, but I don't like the underside of, I mean, I wouldn't want this flat and everybody could see the backside. So what I did was I just found a free pattern online, which I will link in the show notes, a free pattern for a buffalo plaid, and I just used the chart and I cast on, I don't remember how much I cast on, like 75, something like that, and I just made it into a tube so that you couldn't see the wrong side of it. I did a twisted rib there to start with for an inch or so, and then I just, just started knitting in the round the buffalo plaid, and I'm enjoying it. It's fun, but it's a lot of knitting. It's on a size, I'm doing it on size 3 needles. I'm using fingering weight yarn in my colorways, Skeincocaine colorways of crimson and chalkboard, and yeah, it's nice, but as you see, this is for a man. Not that it has to be super long, but I think I'm halfway. That's what I think. I'm pretty sure that I'm halfway at this point. So there's no way that I can get this done in time for Christmas. So, he's not a tall guy, but I still feel like it needs to be longer. This is the first set of skeins that I have. This is what I have so far left from the first 2 skeins. So when I'm done, I'll need to use 2 more skeins to get this done. We'll see how it goes. Pray for me. Okay, next. What's next? Is that it for whips? I think that's all for whips. Active current whips that I'm excited about. I dyed up some yarn for just for for Christmas. Like, a lot of people like to cast on. They like to cast on socks. It's a Christmas sock cast on Christmas Eve. So we dyed up a Christmas colorway. We do that every year, and this was our color this year. This is our Christmas cast on 2022. If you see cat or dog hair or bird feathers, just remember that that's the kind of life I live. It's going to be darker than what it's showing on the camera, but there are really nice it's not burgundy, it's like, yeah, it's like a purpley red, but there you go. But there are different shades of green, lots of shades of green, and then there's reds in there too. If you see, there's reds. So I sold out of this. Next year I'll dye more. I only dyed, I mean, I have like 60 skeins. We sold out in like an hour. And I was also sending a sparkle mini with it. Sparkle. Those go together. So you get your free mini with your skein. And I've had a lot of requests for pre-orders for this. I will ask again in January if people want it. Because, I mean, some people just want these colors year-round. I get it. It's really attractive. I love green so much. So we'll ask again if people maybe without the mini would like to get this. Since it does have, maybe we'll add a little more pink to it. Be less Christmassy and more pinky, but it's not screaming Christmas to me. It doesn't really. So we'll see if we might do a pre-order for this in 2023. I also, and I may have 1 or 2 sets left. I haven't checked the stock of these, but I did some minis out of our cashmere chunky bulky base. They're 20 grams, and I did these minis. So there's 1, 2, so this, you would do this if you knit a hat or mittens or something out of this. You would do this on a large needle, like 11 and higher. Well, I mean, it depends, of course, what you're making. But this is a really, really, really bulky, not super bulky, not like a Malabrigo Rasta, but more like Machida from them. I think that's what that's called. And again, all of the colors are richer than what you are seeing on the camera because the ring light is blowing out. But I really think you guys prefer my podcast when when I'm not too dark. So, but like this light one, you barely see. I mean, it's really blown out, but you get the idea. So there's 10 of them. Okay, so we're shipping those now. I'm shipping everything out today. Everyone that bought the Christmas cast on colorway, and the people that have bought the minis, the cashmere minis, they're merino and cashmere. They are scrumptious. They really are. So these are shipping. Again, there may be 1 or 2 left. I'm not entirely sure, but there may be. Link is below in the show notes. So that's it for the knitting. I'm going to talk about what I'm reading and what we're watching. So hopefully you have your knitting with you. I'm going to knit. See, if I'm going to knit anything, it's going to be this. I love it so much. I do love my Swancho, but the drive to finish that is not strong at this juncture in time. This Anthology, I've already given my mother a Swancho, so this, though, I think I may be giving her this for Christmas. She can put it on the back of one of her chairs. She can wrap herself up in it, whatever she wants to do. Okay, so that's why I want to work on that. Okay, I am reading Anne of Green Gables. This book is so amazing. I cannot believe I am 56 years old, going on 57, and I have never read this book. This book is incredible. And it's so incredible, like everywhere I go and whenever I talk about it, people say, oh, it's my favorite book of all time. So this is very inspirational. There's knitters in this book. It's just so good. If you are a woman or a child or a girl or a teenager, I highly recommend you reading this book. I don't know if my husband would enjoy this book or my son, and I can't get my daughter to read anything but, what does she like? She likes, what is the Japanese stuff? You know what it is. I can't think of what it is. Everybody's screaming at the TV right now. Okay, so I'm reading that. In terms of what we're watching, I'm watching White Lotus. It's so cringy, and yet I can't stop watching it. It's funny. It's just funny. Now, I'm not finished with the first season yet. But I'm enjoying it. Yellowstone, classic Yellowstone. Beth is beating everyone up, punching every woman in the face. Classic stuff, but I still love it. I love Kevin Costner, and Rip is as hot as it gets. He's hot, hot, hot. And he's really blonde in real life. He's like a real hottie in real life. I don't know how they make him, transform him into Rip, but so good, so good. Anyway, we're really enjoying that. And then we watched Transformer, about a bodybuilder who is transitioning male to female, but he is still really like obsessed. I mean, he's what's the word? He's transitioning into a woman, but he still is with, in the gym, that kind of thing, and he still can't stop bodybuilding because it's really addictive. So he can't, he wants to pass as a woman, but he really can't because he keeps getting really, really muscular. Like, he can't stop working out for hours and hours at a time in the gym, and I don't know, he might still be taking steroids. I'm not sure what he's doing, but he can't stop doing what he's doing. So he's struggling, but it's a very, very interesting documentary. I highly recommend it because I don't know how many of you are paying attention to, I'm of the older generation. I'm old-fashioned. I grew up that you didn't get tattoos or piercings, that was the fringe alternative. That's changed. I'm trying to work through things that I'm just not used to, okay? And another is the transgendered world, the pronoun world, how much is social contagion? How much is we're just able to finally live our authentic selves? I mean, who knows? I don't know. I can't, but that show was great because we could talk, it brought up a lot of interesting issues about it, and I recommend it, and I recommend talking about it afterwards. It's really interesting. I want to understand more. I don't want to be one of those, I'm 2 generations older than my kids. I had my kids in my 40s, so I am I'm really like grandparents for my kids, and I'm trying to keep up with everything. I'm trying to keep up with technology and social things and all of that. I'm trying to keep up with it. It's hard, but I want to. But it's hard because I am of a different generation. So what else? What else are we watching? Filthy Rich. We watched the Jeffrey Epstein show, and so there was the Ghislaine Maxwell version, his girlfriend, Madam, whatever, that she was the one that was sort of getting the women, or, she was doing a lot of the getting other girls to get other girls for Jeffrey, and that was an interesting documentary. When you have money, you can do whatever the hell you want. You really are kind of above the law. I mean, ultimately, he was convicted, she was convicted, but how many years did this go on? I mean, it was sickening, really sick. Something is wrong with my my camera battery. It's not holding a charge. So I've had to switch to my phone right now, and I'm gonna just finish up. I was so close to being done anyway. I don't really know what the deal was, but I just wanted to finish up and just sort of talk about what's going on in, the least little bit. So like I said, I'm going to take the kids to New York. Dave can't go with us because he has a bad knee. And that actually just reminded me of the reason that we are on keto right now, the diet, is because I had listened to a podcast by Dr. Huberman, who is a neuroscientist at Stanford University. And he does a podcast, and he interviewed a psychiatrist who put all of his patients, schizophrenic, clinically depressed, bipolar, he put them all on a keto diet, and they all got better and could get off their medication. And I thought, wow, so mental issues could also have a benefit of a keto diet. And so I thought, well, Dave has a bad knee. I've had some issues with my hip. It's been bothering me a little bit. And I think, so we just decided to get on keto, and every day Dave's knee is getting better and better and better. And I'm in a much better mood. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it or what. I'm not sure. But so we're on keto, which is tricky during the holiday season, but it'll be fine. And then I'm meeting Karen, my friend Karen, in San Francisco the end of January. And we're going to do Napa Valley and a couple of other things. And then we both fly to LA, and then I'm going to see Becky Julia there. I'm going to see some other friends there. And then we're going to go around to all the Los Angeles restaurants. We're doing like a restaurant tour to kind of, we're foodies. And so we're going to do that, the three of us. And so those are the trips I have planned. New York and LA, San Francisco, Napa Valley. Coming up. So I guess that's it. I'm going to try to get this podcast up. I'm sorry I didn't do Vlogmas this year, but I am doing it next year, along with a Halloween Advent, Christmas Advents, Yarn Countdown calendars, and also Vlogmas next year. So that's what's going to happen. So I hope everyone is doing well. I know everyone is kind of reeling from that Twitch, that guy killed himself, and everyone thought, how could somebody that's so happy all the time and love and light, how he could die? I mean, I didn't know this guy, and I really wasn't invested in any way with him, but I know how I felt when Anthony Bourdain killed himself. But at the same time, I was not surprised that Anthony did, because he seemed like he was always depressed and all of that. So that wasn't any surprise, but this guy was a big surprise to the people that knew him. And so I hope that if any of you out there are struggling and you feel hopeless, lonely, I'm here if you ever want to reach out to me, but definitely reach out to people, whether they're your friends or not, or family or not, it's irrelevant. There's a lot of people out there that are willing to help, lend an ear, just knowing that. I think the thing to remember, the depressed person, the suicidal person, is thinking that everybody would be better off without them, and that is absolutely not the truth. We are not better off without you. Your children are not better off without you. No one is better off without you. We're worse off without you. So if you need help, ask for it. Reach out to me. If you want to talk, you're always welcome, to private message me on Instagram or whatever, because I know that Christmas can be a really hard time for people. I know that. I love it, but, I have my times where I don't feel as happy. I don't love my birthday that much, to be honest. I mean, I don't get suicidal, but I don't like it. So pray for world peace. And thank you for joining me. I hope everyone is enjoying the season. I do hope. I know it's hard, but let's go for it. And 2023, let's make it the best year ever, okay? And I hope to see you before the end of the year, but if not, I'll see you next year. Okay. Happy knitting. Bye.